Unreal. The Hoosiers, national champions in college football of all sports possible. Unbelievable. A surreal experience. Got to experience with the parents. Got to hang out with the old heads. We were hanging. We were boozing, cheating, enjoying life. What a game. Hard-fought game. Wasn't easy. Corners were tough. O-line was putrid. Defensive line got in there, and Mendoza hung in tough. And then a gonads play by Signetti on that final, or second to last time out, and burned it to go for two. And then Mendoza off that quarterback draw. Unbelievable stuff there. And shout out my Indiana Hoosiers. Let's freaking go. I know I went to Ball State, but whatever. I was raised in Indiana Hoosier. Parents went there. Get out of here. Let's fucking go. Got to experience it with my dad. One of the coolest experiences I've gotten recently, and I'm pumped up, maybe a little boozed up, and it feels great. Shout out all my friends and family and family that couldn't be here to see this moment. I'm sure that they didn't think that they thought a 6 basketball ring and a 6 basketball banner could come before a football one came, but shout out Coach Signetti. If you don't like Coach Signetti, then fuck you. Simple as that. Coach Signetti is absolutely an aura machine, and he's everything that you'd want in a football coach. And I'm so grateful that IU. Shout out that asshole that said that they couldn't afford Rose Bowl tickets. IU people. They absolutely took over Hard Rock Stadium for a 3rd time in a row, making that a home game. And so happy for everybody and all these Hoosiers. What up, Elliot?
What up, man? Just giving you your floor, much deserved. Shout out to the Hoosiers. That was a fun game to watch. Incredible kind of college football in general. Indiana ran away with it the first 2 rounds, but what was a great game to end the college football season on, which now means we're gonna ramp up even more. All eyes on college basketball. So I'm excited just because more eyes, more viewers, more attention to what we've been doing since September, October. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it's all about. Much as everyone shits on the transfer portal and what college basketball has become, there is good stories that still exist in college basketball. And all biases aside, I think Indiana is a testament to that. They had NIL is involved. Yes, money is involved, but they find a good coach. They rally behind a decent roster last year, keep their same guys, run it back a second year, and go on our little revenge tour after their embarrassment against Notre Dame. And they get to defend their undefeated streak, I'm sure, against a terrible opponent next year in week 1. But shout out Coach Signetti. Shout out what he had to do with these guys. And Mendoza, shout out. His whole story is fantastic. And shout out that he's going to get a first-round pick as well, and maybe the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. And shout out this hat, too. Look how fire. I got it at the IU-Iowa game, but that game sucked. But this game is all that matters. I'll trade any loss for that, and that's all that matters. Let's go. I know this is a basketball show. So, but yeah, college football. Shout out college football and shout out Rhythm. They were handing out great college football picks. Got a prop hit for Rhythm there through our college football game. And next Monday, the CEO from Rhythm, will be joining the Pump Fake Pod. So make sure to tune in next Monday, a week from now. Same episode, going over the Tuesday slate, talking ball and also talking what Rhythm's all about and the little story behind it for sure. So yeah, can't believe Rhythm. They've been a fantastic partner. We'll continue riding them, and it's been an awesome season for college basketball. And I know that they had some great plays for college football as well. Elliot, anything you want to say about Rhythm? I know that you've been kind of tapping into it a little bit more. enjoying it this season.
Yeah, no, it's been great. The nice thing is you can check on into it. It links up to the line movement, so you're seeing accurate lines consistently, and it's just ever changing. So when the line moves, maybe you have an edge at +3.5, +4.5, and then the line moves one way or the other, and maybe you lose that edge. So it's always learning, it's always refreshing, inputting based on the lines available. So it's been fun to kind of dive into it and kind of check periodically and look how it responds to different line movements and such. So a lot that goes into it, a lot of behind the scenes work that they put in behind it, and it's a great product. I'm just excited to continue to be able to use it and figure out other ways to help myself in the long run with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's helped me out with a ton of different sports as well. It's helped me out with college basketball as well. And as much as it is a great story, so excited about football. It is a basketball show, so let's run into it. It was a decent day for me as well on the basketball slate. 14 and 11 plus 0.99 units, not quite a full unit. Got a little couple juice plays there, but still in the positive. And CBB on the record there, 838, 695 plus 52.77 units. That is based on half unit percent best bets. So, yes, less losses, less wins. But if we win more days than we do lose, then we'll be up at the end of the season. That's what we've been continuing to do. 52.77 units on the year and a Hoosier win. Life feels great. And it was a decent college basketball slate. Shout out Martin Luther King and MLK Day. They brought some heat. CBS Sports Network. My Northeastern Monmouth under 147.5 got some good CLV, which I thought was a curse, and it was. It was looking good. There was only 132 with about 50 seconds left, and then just poured it on at the end. They scored 149. I got hooked there, and then Towson as well, -5.5 to Drexel. They came back in the end and won, but didn't cover. But it was up from there. I was like, oh no. I was like, I'll lose all my bets today for a Hoosier win, but that didn't matter as well because Albany wins outright, called it +5.5, and an Albany win. So yeah, absolute fantastic stuff there. Elliot, did you get any bets in today? I know that you were off last night, so
didn't really get any bets in. I was planning on doing it. Then, I looked at the slate, and a lot of them were during the middle of the day. And I was working all day. Unfortunately, healthcare, you don't really get a day off like Martin Luther King Day. So it was just kind of box score watching from, morning until about 5 p.m. I think I got home about 6:30. Actually, maybe a little later than that. But I was able to catch a couple games down the stretch, particularly that Marquette Providence game. That was kind of a unreal finish, unreal collapse by Providence. Up 3, turn it over, 6 seconds left, and foul the 3-point shooter. Yeah, Nigel James, shout out to him. He hits all 3 free throws since the overtime, but 38 points, 8 assists. Marquette is still kind of fugazi, but Providence gave that one up. Shout out to New Haven. I was going to bet them on the money line. I think they came through, got it done against Chicago State. And then I watched a couple of games at the end of the night, kind of had them on while I was watching the Indiana game. I agree with the juice. Norco is broken. Glad I kind of wasn't able to bet because that would have been one that I would have bet on. Not sure what you picked, but I would have taken Northern Colorado on the money line. I think it was at -1.5 the last time I saw it. But Montana State gets a good road win there. And then I was also watching the Hampton NCAA game as well. And Hampton kind of got down a little early, but responded well and kind of cruised there in the second half and didn't look back en route to a 20-point win. So,
yeah, I was on A&T, but that was, NJIT money line got it done earlier.
Nice.
I had Siena team total over. Marist didn't quite cover at home. Merrimack, they're pretty good. Iona's broken. Quinnipiac, I'm glad I didn't take them spread. I took them team total over. It took overtime, but they got it done for sure. They scored 18 in overtime. Unbelievable. 80-80 at overtime there. Mercyhurst, shout out our dog, friend of the Pump Fake Pod, Mercyhurst.
Good win for them.
There, Bernie Blunt, baby. Let's get it done. And then St. Joseph's covered. And I took Alcorn State as well, bouncing back after their loss. They had to get this one at home, so I went back to the well of Alcorn State. Let's go, baby. George Washington, a brutal no cover.
Yeah,
they lose by 5. They were hoping. You guys missed my history lesson if you didn't watch the episode last night. What George Washington and George Mason was all about. George Mason was was begging for the Bill of Rights and at the Constitutional Convention. But George Washington let it down. And shout out Conman. Congrats, Huff. Hoosiers. It's a shame that Hoosiers basketball is fraudulent. Well, yeah, it is a shame that Hoosiers basketball is a little fraudulent. But it's all about the football tonight. For the most part. Still was 14-11 tonight. Good day on the on there. Yeah, and shout out T-Pix tuning in from Twitter. Hey, you ate today. Pod was fire last night. Yes, it was. Spitting out winners. Felt like we were attacking on all cylinders there. Marquette money line. I know Trevor had the over there. Bethune-Cookman, Arkansas Pine Bluff over hit as well. Sela covered. Montana, I gave team total over 74.5. They scored 98. I mean, there was some fire-ass plays last night from Trevor and I on the MLK slate, and it was a fun little mid-major slate, and it didn't start out really good. I was a little nervous, but for my dog, Jeff Sharp, you listening out there? You looking? I appreciate you. One more time for my dog, Jeff Sharp. Saw him in the comments. 14-11 plus 0.99 units. CBB season 838, 695, 52.77 units. Let's continue rocking. We're going to continue going up. We got a good little Super Tuesday slate rolling. Vibes are high. Got to see a natty with my family, my wife. I mean, unbelievable. I do remember where I was when the Colts won the Super Bowl in 2007. I was 10 or 9 because I wasn't 10 yet. But I do remember where I was. And oddly enough, I was at the same house tonight watching with my parents' friends this natty game. I do remember where I was for a Cubs National World Series as well, too. That's all what it's all about. Shout out, Conman.
Women's game.
Thanks for the donation. Yeah, women's game. Maybe robotics club. You know, you never know. You never know what's going on out there.
I mean, at A&M, they're agricultural, so they're probably doing some crop testing and stuff, some crop judging. They're at Alabama A&M.
No, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, just so blessed tonight. What it was all about. And yeah, the juice. Brandon Stokely was on that Colts Super Bowl team. He got one. Edrin James, though, was not. Joseph Adai and Dominic Rhodes was the running back. So unbelievable stuff there. Shout out Horn Frog. It looks like he had a good slate today. He followed it. Brendan Gregory, shut up about the Colts. Hey man, just saying, three championships. Very blessed. Count them. You got to count your blessings in this life for sure. And Jeff Sharp, glad you got to see the record banner. Another good night tonight. And I think it's going to be another good night tonight as well, too, because we got the Super Tuesday slate loading out. What do we got here? We got 34 games on the slate here. Rocking. Pretty good jam-packed slate, Elliot. We know what we expect from a good little Super Tuesday slate. Solid P5 matchups, and then you got your good sprinkled mid-majors in. You gotta love all that. You gotta love Tuesday. Is Tuesday your favorite one or no?
I don't know. I kind of like Thursdays just because of the Big West games. It's kind of one of my favorites. I'm kind of a night owl, so I enjoy the later games, especially when you get a Hawaii game like we have this coming Thursday. So definitely, I think Tuesday you get more of the bigger games, but I think on Thursday for sure it's more mid majors, but I just enjoy it because of the Big West. I don't know.
Yeah, Thursdays are fun, and there's like 50 games on too, or like 40 something games. It's great. And yeah, I shaved. I shaved for the national championship. Something I had to do. It was the right move. Taking the little shave there. We'll be back. Takes me a little longer, I'm sure, than Elliot and whatnot, but
I don't know.
we'll be back.
It takes me a while, so I'm probably gonna shave here soon. I'm getting sick of it. It looks gross.
But I mean, no way he can grow flow like that. We're getting there as well too. So yeah, don't you worry, Brennan. Definitely not. And how can you be from a night like tonight? Let's fucking go. I think we might as well get into it, Elliot. Trevor over there on the other podcast. I think we should just dive right into the slate. It was a good one tonight. I got to see some good games, and like I said, 14 and 11. We really saw some solid games. I kind of tuned out towards the evening part before I went to where I went, but yeah, I mean, overall, teams really brought it, and I love the St. Joe's team. I know they didn't win; they lost by 7, but they covered. I love that St. Joe's team for some reason.
Yeah, another one before we get started in one tomorrow's slate, but freaking George Washington. I know you mentioned terrible kind of collapse there at the end, but Princeton, another one, collapsed at the end to not cover as well. So. Kind of, I would have been on the wrong side of a couple of those beats. So glad that I was off a little bit, but we'll see. Ready to get back into it, dive back into tomorrow's slate though, and get our my typical 20 out of 36 bets.
Yeah, I was tallying it up. What 40, 49 and 34, 83 bets out of 141 on Saturday. Insane. 25 yesterday or tonight, I guess, or Monday on what, a 30-something game slate. So
yeah, I was 80. I had 88 bets on Saturday, 42 and 45, and 1. I had another push. Terrible end of the night. I think I was 41 and 36, and I think I lost like 9 straight. At the end of the night, just got absolutely smoked the last like 8-9 games. I just could not. I think I won one of 9 or something. So it was looking good. Wasn't my typical where I start 0-10, 1-9 on.
Yeah, me too. I was hot.
Like I typically do on Saturday. So I was like, okay, things are looking up, and then it's not how you start, it's how you end, and that was proven right there with the ending just a little bit down because of that 9-game losing streak there at the very end. So kind of
I was 3-3 at noon, 3-3 on the noon slate, but 18 and 5 at the 2:00 slate. One of those was a Hoosiers bet that I lost, but 18 and 5 at the 2 p.m. slate, which kept me rolling for the remainder of the day. Lost like the 3 p.m. slate, and then from then on out, either pushed or won for those little windows there, hour windows. So that was a lot of fun. Saturday was fun. You get to talk shit for one thing that, if you remember a battle that you beat me at, but because I remember one, and there's only one I want to talk shit about. That's one I think that you got me on for sure. You get the Santa Clara Vengeance. It was almost like a WWE matchup. He gets the final battle. But you called me a crazy son of a bitch for taking South Carolina in the jungle, and I remember those words vividly. Easy cash. Give me the Gamecocks in the jungle, baby. Come on. They were chirping. I was hunting on the podcast last night. I was like, Elliot, where's Elliot? I'm looking for him. But yes, you albeit
You're still a crazy son of a bitch. That doesn't change my opinion. You're still a crazy son of a bitch. Good hit, though.
It's college basketball. But, we needed an answer from that. But, yes, the battle does get to Santa Clara, St. Mary's. We're 20 minutes into this episode. We've recapped a good MLK slate. We've recapped an IU Hoosier win. Let's fucking go. Unbelievable stuff there. High is a high. I'll tell you what, a high is a high for a Super Tuesday slate. Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Toledo, UMass. Massachusetts is laying a point, I believe, still against Toledo. Has this line gone up just a tad bit?
I was literally just getting ready to pull up the updated lines just to make sure. I put these in kind of like halftime of the game. Maybe a little bit.
Still a point and a half. Toledo over-unders 165.5 here. Massachusetts off of a bad loss to Northern Illinois. Glad I stayed off of that game. Very up and down kind of style team, and not what you'd normally expect from Toledo UMass here. And Toledo itself is kind of an up and down team. They really struggle defensively. I think offensively they pick it up. But which UMass team are we going to get, right? Like, you just don't know which to expect. They are coming back home, which is a little enticing. And honestly, that's going to be kind of my advantage. And even seeing a loss from Northern Illinois, which isn't always the best, but I think that Massachusetts could maybe expose Toledo's three-point defense, kind of get out and run with them and bounce back off of a bad loss. I will take UMass here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I like UMass on the money line. I just avoid the -1.5. But I kind of like the over. I know it's creeped up a little bit to the 164.5. I think both teams are going to be able to put up a lot of points here. Massachusetts, they're off of only putting up 68 points. We typically see them in the 80s. And so I see this game kind of be playing in the mid-80s, kind of like that Kent State-Toledo game was on Friday where Toledo lost 87-84 on the road. I don't think Toledo is going to have a problem offensively. I just think that defensively is where Massachusetts is going to be able to take advantage of Toledo, like you said, possibly from the three-point line. And both teams play with a lot of pace. So I kind of like I think I'm going to attack the over 164.5, and I'm going to lock it in because it's crept up. I think at one point it was 162.5. So they crept up a couple points already. So I'll be in on that over 164.5 and cheer for some points here in the first game to start the night.
Minnesota, Ohio State. Ohio State is laying 8.5 against Minnesota. Over under is 144.5. Minnesota coming off of 3 losses in a row. They've been competitive and covered in all 3 of them. Ohio State also got a cover with a big win against UCLA here on Saturday. You know what I'm going to say. Too many points. I think this Ohio State team is just a little bit fraudulent, and we've seen enough of them. They got their win against UCLA, who's been bitching about the travel for the last 9 years, ever since they joined the Big Ten. I think Minnesota's been competitive. They win 4. They cover 4 games in a row here, and I think they can be just as physical with Ohio State. Ohio State kind of likes to slow you down, run sets a little bit, take you inside. And Minnesota can bang down low a little bit, and we've seen them cover multiple games. I think that they can continue this stretch and cover against Ohio State here.
Yeah, I like Minnesota plus the points here at the plus 8.5. I think under Medved here, Minnesota's just going to kind of continue to improve throughout the season. I know they've lost 3 straight, but 2, USC, Wisconsin, Illinois. Some pretty decent teams in the Big Ten. I think, USC, Wisconsin, probably comparable to Ohio State. Don't really think that home court is that much of a factor for Ohio State. They just won by 12 at home. I don't think that they're going to be able to repeat another double-digit win. I see this kind of as a slugfest game, and with how Minnesota likes to play at a super, super slow pace, and defensively they'll be able to kind of give Ohio State a little bit of problems. I'll be on the Gophers plus the 8.5 here.
Yeah, I mean, they've been covering. They've looked good. I mean, and also now you get the Hoosiers just a little bit tad, or not Hoosiers. I mean, Ohio State Buckeyes just a little bit tad, a little hungover just a tad bit off of their big win from UCLA. I mean, like I said, I do like they do like to take you inside, keep you up, keep you honest. But that's where Minnesota thrives on defense. So let's go. Oh, baby. Akron, Buffalo. Finally get Akron at single digits. My God. How many Akron spreads have we seen that is just a little bit too crazy for me? 18 and a half, around that number. And they've been kind of struggling, to say the least, because they always just kind of win by like 13, and they're like, yeah, that's good enough for us. Now they're getting Buffalo. Buffalo played Buffalo played Miami down to the wire, took them to overtime. Now they're getting Akron back to back, and Akron off of the 4 wins in a row. I think Buffalo could struggle here, and Akron's defense steps it up. I know that an under is a little bit crazy, but I will go Buffalo team total under 80.5. I think Buffalo steps it up just a tad bit, and defensively, and Akron does too. And we see a lower pace game, but it's for the full game under. It's a little bit too crazy for me because I think Akron could have put up 95. I think Akron covers this game, and I think Buffalo's team total under goes down, and they only score like in the high 70s versus above 80. And shout out Parlay P. Appreciate you always tuning in. You're always in the chat. Appreciate you. And thanks for the donation as well. And thanks for the congratulations. Cheers, my friend. Feels really good. So fucking pumped up.
Yeah, I'll take Buffalo plus the points. I watched that entire Buffalo Miami of Ohio game. They shot really well against Miami of Ohio, 50% from the 3 there. Probably should have won that, or they should have won that game. Miami of Ohio, Ian Elmer got the rebound off the tip out, hit the 3 as time expired, descended into overtime, and then Peter Suter had a nasty step back 3 with like a second left on the clock in overtime to get the win. So hit a game tying 3 and then basically a buzzer beating 3 in overtime. But yeah, Buffalo probably should have came away with the win. I think maybe could have taken their wind a little bit out of their sails, but I think they're going to be able to get up here, play pretty competitive at home. I'll take them plus the points, but what I'll probably end up doing, I think Akron is going to win this game. I'll look at pairing Akron money line with another parlay piece. If I can find like a good -4.5 or something like that I like on the money line, I'll pair that and try to get it close to plus 100. I think that'd be more of a safer bet in my opinion than taking Buffalo plus 7.5 because they shot kind of lights out against Miami. Maybe they don't shoot as well, and they could get ran out of the gym here against Akron. Kind of a letdown spot off of that tough loss on the road. But it would be Buffalo plus the points for me.
All right, pretty even for the most part outside of this game with the team total under, and then your take with Buffalo. And shout out our guy Parlay P. It's his birthday. Can y'all hook me up with a 2-unit play? Yeah, I'm down for a little.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Parlay P.
And go who.
Happy birthday to you.
And many more, motherfucker. Let's go, Parlay P, my man. Yeah, we got you. Maybe a little M&M parlay here. Stay tuned. UCF versus Iowa State. Iowa State is laying 13.5. That logo is terrible for Iowa State. I put it in. I was like, I kind of want to just put it in how terrible because that's how terrible they are in the month of January in the most recent years for Iowa State. And now you're getting UCF who played their hearts out against Arizona, but it was a very physical game. And now you're getting Iowa State who's lost 2 in a row, going back to Ames. Lay it. I will lay it. I think Iowa State gets this one done. They win by like high 20s and get this one. I know UCF is solid. they've been able to compete with some of these bigger teams in the Big 12. But you're getting Iowa State very pissed off. I know it's January, like I said, but they've had their 2 losses in a row, and now they're going back to Ames. I think that they could lay an egg for sure in Stillwater on Saturday, and continue their January skid. But to me, going back to Ames off 2 losses is an automatic lay. I think Lipsy controls the guard play, bounces back, and who's going to get an answer for Momcilovic or whatever the hell he pronounce it. So give me Iowa State here.
Momcilovic. But yeah, I'll take Iowa State as well. I was on them to bounce back against Cincinnati. Had another kind of a terrible effort. Went up against a defensive-minded team. Couldn't get it done. Really struggled. UCF, like you said, kind of fought their hearts out at home against Arizona. And now we kind of see them in just like a weird spot. Wednesday, UCF, I was able to watch them in person. Got that win on the road in Manhattan. Traveled Saturday all the way to Arizona, or back home and played against Arizona. Now they head straight back out to Iowa State. So kind of a tough little travel spot here. So the fact that they have that, plus Iowa State off of the 2 losses and they return home, I think that they roll here. I will lay the 13.5. I also like the over 156.5. UCF really loves to play with a lot of pace. Iowa State not as good. I mean, I know they're good defensively, but they at times have been able to, or have been known to, give up some points, especially when they're able to put up a lot of points. So I could see this game being like 90-70, something like that, with Iowa State kind of clearing that. But I like the 13.5 better than the 156.5. But I would tend to take the over as well.
Yeah, UCF too physical with Arizona. Oh, Miami, undefeated and ranked, laying a point against Kent State. Over-unders 171.5. Elliot, are you jumping in front of the bus as you described it last episode? Because we haven't. We've been taking Miami against these games, and it's been working out. They've been covering machines, but they are freshly ranked. We going back in on Miami, Ohio here?
I mean, I think I just got to keep riding the train until it comes off the tracks. I mean, that's how I kind of look at it. I know they didn't get the cover against Buffalo. I did get on them a little bit on the money line live when I was watching them on Saturday against Buffalo, so that came through for me. Yeah, I'll take Miami of Ohio. I'll take them on the money line here. I'm seeing like minus 115 in some places. Over 171.5 is too high for me to back an over, especially off of Miami, off of the overtime win. I'm not crazy enough to take an under here just because of how bad Kent State's defense is, and Miami of Ohio's defense is, good. But Kent State, at home could put up a lot of points. But yeah, I'll take Miami. I'll take the Redhawks on the money line. Not getting in the way with it now. A little nervous for this game, though, I will say.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, listen, we've been riding Miami, and it's been all nice and all, and it's been very sweet. And
you zagging?
This is a tough spot for them for sure. I mean, they're freshly ranked. Now they're going into Kent State. Kent State, not a friendly place, but Kent State had their rivalry game against Toledo, their big game against Toledo. I'm not saying they haven't had Miami, Ohio circled by any means, so I get it. This is a hand up. You're only gonna take it one way. You're gonna bet one team on a money line, either way, whatever you believe. And this is a really, really tough spot for Miami. But pressure makes fucking diamonds. And they've been doing it nonstop. Give me Miami, Ohio on the money line. I don't give a shit. They're 19-0. They're going to be 20-0. And they're going to go back home and dominate. This is a special, special story. And I'm not here to go away from it, as Elliot says. And I'm not running off the train yet, off the track. So get out of here. I have gone against some of these spots here, but Miami's been one of our most fruitful this entire season, and it'd be criminal for me to go against them. So let's go Red Hawks. Michigan is laying 15.5 against IU here. Over under is 162.5. I saw IU live. Their offense is absolutely atrocious. They have been absolutely blundering here, and we haven't seen them show up at all offensively. But Michigan has been exposed just a tad bit. If they're any good at all, they'd step up. I like the over here. I think that IU can step it up offensively. I think Michigan's could score 100. And if that means that they score 100, IU just has to score 63. IU, very embarrassing. I walked out of that game saying that to investigate IU, I got called a dumbass. I said, thanks, you too. Because that guy's a dumbass. If he doesn't know what's going on here, how bad can you really be, especially in Assembly Hall? But they do crazy things at times. I like the over here. I'll take the Hoosiers plus the points. We've seen Michigan kind of give up these covers and just play some LA Fitness style ball. I think IU can pick it up offensively, so I do like the over here in Michigan IU.
Yeah, I'll take Michigan minus 15.5. Michigan last time out at home lost to Wisconsin by 3 as double-digit favorites. I think they're going to want to make a statement here at home. They're going to kind of get back on the covering machine. They went out on the road, 10-point wins against Washington and Oregon. I just think it's a really bad matchup inside for Indiana versus Michigan. I'm not quite sure if they got Reed Bailey, but other than Reed Bailey, who else is going to be able to kind of help stop down low with Yaxel and Mara? So I just think down low, Michigan's going to be able to get on the offensive rebounds and really kind of get a lot of second chance points in the paint. So I like Michigan here minus the 15.5. It is a big number, but I could see them putting up just kind of a exclamation point here, saying, "Hey, we're here. We're going to run the Big Ten this year." And they beat the Hoosiers by 20. So give me Michigan minus the 15.5.
All right, we can both win with the over there. And shout out Dot, investigate Providence. Yeah, they suck for sure. Investigate them. They wouldn't be the first Big East team to make it, and investigate all of NCAA basketball. Yes, potentially. They already have done that when I was in college, and then they all right, Sean Miller, you got to leave for a little bit. And they saw how bad it was from Bill Self and everybody. And they had no choice.
Speaking of Bill,
no choice to make the NIL happen.
Speaking of Bill Self, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about KU later, but thoughts and prayers to Bill Self. Didn't make the trip to Colorado. Was in the hospital. Some people, I'm hearing some whispers of possibly another kind of a chest pain incident. He's already had 2 heart surgeries over the last couple of years. So thoughts and prayers to him and his family. Hopefully all is well. They said they went to the hospital and got some IV fluids, feels better. So hopefully that's all it was. And it's not anything heart related again, but we can talk more about that later. But just since you brought him up, thoughts and prayers to Bill Self.
Yeah. Thoughts and prayers for sure. Clemson is laying 3.5 against North Carolina State here. Clemson off of a cover against Miami. I bet that. Clemson has now won 9 games in a row. They've been dominant at home here. But they're getting a hot NC State team and an NC State team off of a loss to Georgia Tech. I mean, what the hell? What team are you going to get from NC State? They're all over the place here. This just kind of, to me, feels like an NC State spot off of a loss. I know that fading Littlejohn isn't enticing, but you know what? I didn't last game against Miami. They got it done with ease. This one just kind of feels like a slip up. I think NC State can really body them on the physical part of this game. Really stretch the perimeter here. I think NC State gets it done. I'm going to take them plus the points in Little John and go against my normal lay the points in Little John spot.
Yeah, I'll battle you here. I'm going to keep riding the hot hand in Clemson. At home, getting 3.5. They've covered this number pretty much every single home game this year, including the last one out against Miami, Florida. I think, I'm a little concerned just with how bad NC State did play against Georgia Tech. So, Will Wade's probably motherfucked his players Sunday and Monday. So they're going to come out ready to play. So that scares me just a little bit. But I think Clemson at home laying the -3.5. If it was a little higher, I'd probably be on NC State. I'd say like 5.5. I'd probably want to be there. But I could see Clemson winning by 4 by the hook down the stretch, hitting a couple free throws. I'll trust the better defense at home. Give me Clemson. We can battle.
All right. Let's do it. St. Louis is laying 10.5 against Duquesne. Over/under is 165.5. St. Louis laying 10.5 here. It's kind of a no-brainer for me to lay it. They've been dominating even on the road. They won by 12 against LaSalle recently. Won by 9 in the Siegel Center. But this game feels a little sketchy. Duquesne going to really try to slow this game down. They're heading back home. I'll take St. Louis -10.5, but no bet for me on this one. Be my first no bet of the night here.
Yeah, did St. Louis get ranked as well, or are they still unranked?
Yeah, they did. They're a spot ahead of
24, right?
Of Miami, Ohio. Yep.
I'll take Duquesne plus the points. I don't like this game though. I'm going to lay off of it, but kind of a principle of mine is, if a team's not absolutely atrocious, I'll take double digits as a home dog. So give me Duquesne plus the points. Probably not going to bet this though, because it seems like St. Louis is a wagon, and I'm not quite sure I want to step in front of that. But I do like, thinking about it, I do like fading. I know Miami of Ohio, we're not really fading them, but those freshly ranked teams can sometimes have a stinker right after they get stamped into the top 25, especially when they're not there a lot.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of laying off of it personally for me. But yeah, they're one of the better teams. It's definitely not bet on Duquesne energy. Oh, baby. South Carolina is laying a point against Oklahoma. Over/under is 150.5. Talk about suck of the SEC.
South Crack-a-lacka.
I'll take South Carolina at home. I took South Carolina on the road in Auburn. They got it done. South Carolina pretty good on the perimeter defense. Who the hell wants to take Porter Moser? His ass is warmer than I don't even know what analogy I'm going to whip out there, but his ass is warm. Not saying Lamont Paris isn't either, but I'll take the home team here. I think South Carolina can get it done here. But this game is suck for sure. But I will take South Carolina. Fuck Porter Moser.
Yeah, I'll be on South Carolina as well. Battle of 1 and 4 teams here in the SEC. I think, max effort game that Oklahoma had against Alabama. Alabama survived at home or on the road there in Norman on Saturday, won by 2. I just think it's kind of a letdown spot for Oklahoma. And then you also got the sandwich spot with Missouri coming in, or they're going to Missouri next. Kind of a big spot there, former Big 12 school who they know a lot about. I like South Carolina at home. I'll just play South Carolina on the money line. I know South Carolina also had kind of not necessarily max effort, but a pretty high level effort against Auburn that you were on Saturday. We're gonna have a day off, but I'll take the home team here. I just don't think Oklahoma's will be able to get it done on the road. But yeah, you're right. Battle of suck versus suck. 2-1-4 teams. I think South Carolina gets the win. First home win in conference play.
YouTube rejecting my comments. They don't want me to say that indeed that guy's a bitch for throwing a punch. But Elliot, shout out Elliot and I here. Let's go Gamecocks. Let's get cocky, baby. St. John's is laying 9.5 against Seton Hall here. Over under is 143.5. I mean, Seton Hall has really stepped it up in my opinion. Defensively, and St. John's has too. I mean, St. John's has really found their stride for the most part. Have stepped it up, and now they're going to the Garden. They've won 4 straight. And yeah, their pace is undeniable, but now they're playing a Seton Hall team that their pace has been one of the slowest, especially in Big East play. So 2 styles clashing here, always kind of an interesting cap. To say the least. You don't know kind of what you're going to get. I think we see a St. John's team kind of stumble a little bit offensively. I think Seton Hall steps it up. They really haven't let any team score 80, and now you're getting a St. John's team around the 77.5 on their team total when they've definitely scored in the 80s in their style of pace here. This is a little crazy, but I will take the team total under for St. John's. I like the full game under as well, too. I think Seton Hall steps it up defensively and can hold St. John's. And I think St. John's gets it done. I don't think Seton Hall is live on the money line by any means. But in order for them to hang in this game, they're going to have to slow this pace down and not let St. John's control the tempo. And I think St. John's is due for some offensive regression after 4 straight fire games.
Yeah. I'll be on Seton Hall plus the points here as well. Seton Hall, surprisingly, in Big East play, they've played a lot better on the road than they have at home. Their 3 losses have all come at home. I know they've probably played, the better of the teams, like they're going to face in St. John's on the road. But I think it's going to be close, competitive. Seton Hall, tough defensive-minded team. I think they'll be able to slow down St. John's here, and St. John's wins, but doesn't cover the 9.5, like you said. So give me Seton Hall plus the 9.5.
All right, Bowling Green is laying 7.5 against Western Michigan. The over/under is 155.5. You got absolute pace on pace here. You got Western Michigan that doesn't really play a lick of defense. Bowling Green that can run up tempo, and Western Michigan's going to run up tempo as well too. I like the over here. Just due to the fact I think Bowling Green's going to be able to get to the 80s, and I think Western Michigan's going to be able to score as well. I'll take the over here. I think we see a major problem with Western Michigan's defense, and Bowling Green's going to be able to expose them. And I like the over. MAC overs have been pretty friendly this season so far, and I think it's going to continue. So I like the total versus the spread in this MAC game.
Yeah, I like the over 155.5 as well. That was kind of the angle what I was going to go towards. I would lean towards laying it with Bowling Green minus the 7.5. But I don't think that it's going to be. It's very good number to lay on the road. So give me the over 155.5. Western Michigan scoring. I know their offense is probably the is kind of what makes them tick. Their defense is absolutely terrible, but Bowling Green has a pretty solid defense, so that kind of concerns me a little bit. But I will take the over 155.5 rather than play one side versus the other.
Miami is laying 11.5 against Florida State here. Over is 166.5. Miami off of a loss. Florida State kind of stepped it up a little bit on the most part, but how they kind of like to run, it's going to be up tempo. They're going to really run it. Miami maybe playing a little bit pissed off of their loss, not only tonight, but their loss against Clemson on Saturday as well. And which Florida State team are we going to get, right? The one that can at least play somewhat defense. But if they're going to try to push tempo and run up pace, I think Miami's going to be able to expose that. Miami's going to be able to get out in the transition with Trey Donaldson, Shelton Henderson, and then obviously my guy Malik Renew as well. But I'll lay it with Miami, but this will be my second no bet of the night. No bet for me. Lay it, though. I think that they can dominate Florida State here, especially on the interior. No bet, though.
Yeah, I mean, this one kind of might stink a little bit, but I think I'm going to take Florida State plus the 11.5. I'll probably end up betting this. I think, this angle is kind of more of the rivalry type style of game. You saw Florida State and Florida. Florida State only lost by 2 to Florida. I know that was very early for a pretty new Florida team in the backcourt. But, I'm getting double digits, kind of an interstate battle here. Rivalry game. Give me the points. I'm all over the points in this rivalry game. So I'll take the Seminoles plus 11.5.
All right. Baby. Central Michigan versus Ball State. Over under,
I could say.
142.5. Ball State off of a big win against Ohio on the CBS Sports Network last Friday. Now they're playing a Central Michigan team. Kind of which Ball State team are we going to get, right? One that can play. I think it all depends on Imani Ziegler. It really does. He's pretty much the entire offense for Ball State. If you watch them, Zakai Ziegler's either brother or something like that. Can't remember, but and you got Fat Brooks as well from Michigan, transferred to Central Michigan. He's been doing pretty well for Central Michigan offensively. This is another overplay I like. I think MAC overs, kind of similar to little Horizon overs. This is an over that I like. I think Ball State steps it up on the offensive side. For me to pick a side is a little bit tough because we don't know what we're going to get. Either way, I think we're going to see some points from both teams that struggle defensively. So give me the over here. And shout out Jen. Thank you. Let's freaking go. Shout out IU. What a story. If you hate this story, you hate good things about sports, and especially good things about college basketball. It makes the transfer portal. It makes NIL. It makes something redeemable about it for the most part, because we see a lot of negative headlines and pieces about what's going on with college sports. But I think IU is one story that we can all appreciate for that. Over. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll ride the Chippewas here on the money line. I'll ignore the points, but I think Ball State, little letdown spot after beating Ohio at home, got their first conference win. Central Michigan kind of had that same thing where they beat Kent State at home and then just got absolutely thumped by Miami of Ohio. They've had a week to prepare for this Ball State team. So yeah, give me the Chippewas at home. Can't believe I'm betting on this team. But here I am. I'll fade Ball State. I think they're terrible. Central Michigan's terrible as well. But I'll back the home team in kind of a Ball State fade spot off of their first conference win.
Ohio laying 12.5 against Northern Illinois. Over under is 151.5 here. Ohio off of a loss, like I mentioned, to Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois off of a decent performance and a win. So it's kind of evident for me to maybe take Ohio here to lay it. But Ohio's defense is such a problem to lay this many points here. I will take the Ohio team total over 82.5. I think that they can expose Northern Illinois' defense, kind of run it up. We saw them lay an egg in Muncie. Now they're kind of heading back home against Northern Illinois, who is one of the fastest, or they allow the fastest pace for offense in one of their conferences. They can force turnovers. They defend the three kind of well, but Ohio likes to take it inside. I think that they can really win on the interiors. So I'll take their team total over against Northern Illinois versus a spread. Let's go, John.
Yeah, I mean, if I was gonna bet this game, I'd probably attack that angle with you. I'll just lay it with Ohio, no bet. Northern Illinois off of a big win against UMass. Ohio off of the loss to Ball State, like you said. So kind of points to me just laying it with Ohio here at home, get right spot. But 12.5 is a big number, especially with the not a very good defense, like you mentioned, for Ohio. So team total over Ohio would be the way that I would attack a bet. Probably just going to stay off of a bet in this game. I'll take Ohio minus the 12.5. No bet for me. What's the team total right now?
82.5. Loyola, Chicago, St. Bonaventure, Battle of the Dogs and Wolves or whatever. 11.5. St. Bonaventure's laying.
St. Bonaventure's broken.
Haven't won a game in conference play in A10, but they're going up against another broken team of Loyola. Broken versus broken. St. Bonaventure's been a problem. Defensively, they can't really defend anything. Loyola somewhat has some defense. I'll take Loyola plus the points. This will be a no bet for me. St. Bonaventure's due for a get-up spot, but I'm not going to be on the side to find it out when they're laying 11.5 points. No way. I'll take Loyola, no bet. Third bet of the night.
Broken team here. I'm going to take the Bonnies minus the 11.5. We can spar here. No bet for me either. I kind of do like the under 148.5 though. I think both teams play pretty slow. Loyola's defense isn't great. Neither is St. Bonaventure's, but Loyola's offense is terrible, especially on the road. 51 against Dayton, 66 against George Washington. Only put up 61 in a win against Rhode Island on the road. I could see the Bonnies, winning this game like 80-60, which would clear this under would be a sweat-free kind of an under. So I'll write down the under 148.5, but I'd be on St. Bonaventure minus 11.5.
All right, Florida laying 15.5 against LSU. The over/under is 158.5. Florida, man, they found their stride. They've been rocking and rolling here.
Hell of a win against Vanderbilt. That was another game I watched kind of the entire game. Was a fun back and forth battle. Never seemed to be, nobody ever seemed to be more up by more than like 4 to 5 points. It was an incredible game.
Yeah, it was an incredible game for sure. Now they're getting LSU. To me, this line is a little bit telling for sure. They've been able to rock and roll, and it's been able to clamp teams at the Swamp and start it off. It almost is too easy, but I think the timing of that is a good spot. They get LSU off of a good win. I will lay the big number with Florida here. I think that they're more physical. They can win down low. They can run out into transition, and then the Swamp is just a major problem, and especially for an LSU team off of a win. I'll lay it the big number with Florida.
Yeah, I'll take the points actually with LSU plus the 15.5. I think we kind of maybe see a similar style of game to that South Carolina Auburn game that you were on South Carolina for on Saturday, but I don't know if I'll bet that because Florida in the Swamp, hard to fade, but I do like Florida going on the road. 2-0 in the road stretch. getting 2 solid wins. I know Oklahoma's not great, but Vanderbilt, really good team. Now they return home, kind of maybe a not necessarily a letdown spot, but just a spot where they're feeling good about themselves, and then when you come home, you can be a little sluggish, just thinking that we're at home, we're gonna roll. So I think I'll be on LSU plus the points, and I don't mind that angle with John. I was looking at that too as well, the over 158.5. Definitely could see the over 158.5 being a solid play. So I'm gonna write both of those down. It'd be LSU plus 15.5 for me, and then also the over 158.5. Kind of my typical thing that I like doing is if I like the dog, I kind of like the over too as well. And we see that Florida's and the overs have been good for us. I know me and Parlay P, we hit on that Florida Oklahoma game on the over. That was cash it any number, so might be on the over 158.5 again. So LSU plus the points for me, or Florida with the points. I mean LSU plus the points, or the Florida LSU over 158.5. And now we will get we got DePaul heading into Butler. You got Butler Lane 8.5. They're in Hinkle Fieldhouse. This one's on True TV, so gonna be right after Cops comes on. You'll get a Cops, then you'll get DePaul Butler, and then you'll get Impractical Jokers right after that. But DePaul, off of the Marquette win at home, beat Marquette by 5 last Friday. Butler, off of that 11-point road win against Seton Hall. For me, this feels like it's too many points, in my opinion. I know DePaul's not the greatest, but Butler. I mean, Butler's pretty good. I just don't know if I want to back them off of that solid road win against Seton Hall. Have they played yet this season? They have not. DePaul kind of struggles on the road. Give me DePaul plus 8.5. Wait to bet it. I'm not sure if I'll get to a bet on this game.
Yeah, hell no, I'm not betting on this game. I will lay it with Butler. DePaul is shooting lights out, but no bet for me. Who wants to lay that many points with Butler? But
I guess the other thing we can do is we can just wait to see what side Trevor picks, and then just auto fade it, because it's off of the Butler principle. Whatever side he picks, take the other, and it's going to win.
Wouldn't know. He's not here right now.
True.
Oklahoma State versus Texas Christian. TCU is laying 8.5 against the Cowboys here. Over under is 162.5. TCU defensively have been juggernauts. They've lost 4 straight, unfortunately, but 2 of those on the road out in Utah. And now the timing of everything is nice and all, but in Oklahoma State, kind of physical at times, but at the most part, they're gonna try to play that run and gun style of play, and TCU is not going to have that. TCU is going to try to muck it up a little bit, slow it down, and rib it around with the Horned Frogs there. But I love Anthony Roy. I love Clary. I love all these guys in Oklahoma State. I'll continue riding with them. I think it's just a little bit too many points. I think TCU still gets it done on home and they bounce back, but I don't think they're going to win by double digits by any means. I'll take Oklahoma State plus the points. I think that they're just as physical as TCU, and hopefully that they can run a little bit up tempo on these Horned Frogs for sure.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Parlay P, good night. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoyed the birthday. Or I guess, wait, is it your birthday now? I would assume.
I think midnight. Yep, midnight, I think.
So enjoy the birthday. Wake up, watch the rerun tomorrow morning. We will get you with that 2-unit play. Yeah, we will. And fast forward to the end for sure. Yeah, Oklahoma State, man, that was a a terrible way to end my Saturday was watching K-State lose that game, how they did in that fashion to Oklahoma State. We were right there, could have got it done, but we didn't. I think TCU bounces back here, gets a win, but I agree. I think it's too many points. With that being said, I'll probably just take the over. I'm seeing this over kind of came down a point. I'll take the over 161.5. If Oklahoma State's going to stay in this game, they're going to have to score a lot of points because because their defense just allows a lot of points. TCU is going to be able to score at home. I'd be on TCU minus the points, but I do think Oklahoma State can be competitive. So give me the over 161.5.
All right, Illinois Chicago is laying 9.5 against Evansville. The over/under is 137.5. Illinois Chicago, man, been rolling. One of the hotter teams right now in the country, not only just in the Missouri Valley. They've been winners of 4 straight after starting 0-4 in conference play here. Yeah, I'll lay it with Illinois Chicago. I think that they continue rolling against this Ragland Evansville team that I like, but Evansville pretty bad for the most part. I'll take it and lay it with UIC, but no bet for me. I think it's a lot of points. Who wants to lay that many points with UIC, right? Even off of their hot start. So I will lay it here.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought was who is Louisville, who is Illinois Chicago to be laying double digits practically against any team really in the Missouri Valley here. I think that Evansville should be able to keep this within single digits, but I haven't been super impressed with Evansville. I don't feel like I would want to back them and have a ticket on them. So I will take Evansville plus the 9.5, but it will be a no bet for me, so we can spar here. And then we've got next game. Looking like we've got UT Martin heading down to Cape Girardeau to take on Southeast Missouri at the Show Me Center, 7:30, 8:30 Eastern if you're in Huffer's Land on ESPN Plus. Tennessee Martin, fresh off of 7 wins in a row in conference play, 7-1. Solid win against Lindenwood by 14 at home. After beating SIU Edwardsville. So a good little home stretch for them. Now they head to Southeast Missouri. Southeast Missouri, on the other hand, has lost their last 3, including 2 straight games at home, one to Lindenwood by 12 and one to SIU Edwardsville by 13. And now we have SEMO laying 2.5. Kind of a peculiar line here for me. I think it's probably a SEMO spot here, just what the line is kind of telling you. But man, I don't know if I want to go with SEMO here. I think I want to just ride with the better team that I've watched all year. Haven't been eye test wise, haven't been too impressed with Southeast Missouri. On the other hand, been pretty impressed with Tennessee Martin. I am concerned with UT Martin and how terrible they are at handling the ball and taking care of the ball. Turn it over at a 21% rate. One of the top 10 worst in the country. And Southeast Missouri, really good at forcing turnovers, top 65 in the country. So I think that's a spot where SEMO can, be able to take advantage of. But man, I don't know if I want to. I know it's off of the SEMO spot for sure, off of 2 straight losses at home. Now you get a UT Martin team, but if you couldn't beat 2 of the other upper tier teams in the conference in Lindenwood and SIUE at home, I don't think you can beat Tennessee Martin. So give me UT Martin plus the 2.5. I'll take the better team here. Probably going to kick myself tomorrow night saying it was a SEMO spot. Why the hell did I take UT Martin? But I'm going to go UT Martin.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Martin here. I think their defense is been a solid part, and they really like to spread the floor. They're going to try to run the motion offense and really get out and run on you. And I think that's going to be a problem even on the road at SEMO. So I'm with you. I'll take Martin plus 2.5. Rutgers, Iowa. My God. Iowa's laying 19.5. Over-under's 138.5. I know Rutgers is terrible, but get the fuck out of here. It's too many points. I know Iowa just dominated IU. That's the thing. Like, it's just too easy, right? Too easy of a spot. Rutgers is terrible. Well, that's a lot of points, even for a team at home. But this is conference play. Rutgers, for the most part, hasn't been getting too drilled. They did get drilled against Iowa on the road or Illinois on the road. But who is Iowa with their pace of play going to stop anyone? Yes, it's kind of a slugfest defensively. Maybe a Rutgers team total under if you really like Iowa here. But too many points for me. I'll take Rutgers. Get out of here, Iowa.
Yeah, I'm going to take Rutgers plus the 19.5. I probably should bet it. Shouldn't be scared. Should just bet it. It's way too many points. That was my initial reaction as well when I was entering this line. I'll probably end up getting there to the Rutgers plus 19.5, but I'll wait to bet this, but I'll probably end up pulling the trigger. I think it's too many points. Iowa plays at a slow pace. I know they can beat teams by a lot at home, but man, Rutgers, their defense should be able to kind of maybe hold its own. Their slow pace should also be able to hold its own a little bit as well. Give me Rutgers plus the 19.5.
Boise State, Wyoming. Boise State is laying a point on the road in Laramie. Over under is 146.5 here. As much as I want to take Wyoming here, they just have really fallen off on Mountain West play. And yes, the home spot is a little bit enticing, and Boise State's kind of struggled for sure. But I think that they're due for a road win, especially in Mountain West play. I think that they can step it up and kind of go at Wyoming a little bit, be able to rebound with Wyoming's strength. Let's just see if Boise State's defense is able to travel, which has always kind of been a worry here in Mountain West play. But I do think Boise State is a little bit better here. I'll take them on the shorter spread on the road. And you know what? I don't want to fall for this Wyoming team on a short number again. And then watch them get fucking drilled like last game.
Yeah. I could see that. I was on Fresno State winning outright against Wyoming. And then, I've backed Wyoming here at home against both San Diego State and Grand Canyon. Both of those games were terrible. I'm going to try it one more time. Third time's a charm. Give me Wyoming money line. I think they should be able to get it done here at home in Laramie. Boise State, isn't your typical Boise State team. They just lost at UNLV by 4. Give me Wyoming money line. I don't mind this either, Brendan. Wyoming under 73.5. Could definitely see that come home too, but I'm on Wyoming, so I'm not gonna play an under here for them. But give me Wyoming money line, and let's hope they don't get blown out in a third straight home spot where they're late or where they're getting 1 to 3 points like they were against Grand Canyon and San Diego State.
Thanks, Jerry, for hitting that like button. Appreciate you. Hit that like button, mofos. Auburn laying 2.5 against Ole Miss. Over under is 149.5. Ole Miss. They're back. Are they back? Is Ole Miss back here? I don't know. Ole Miss now coming in winners of 3 straight. After starting 0-2 and just kind of no showing offensively, but gotten 2 road wins. Now they come back home against Auburn. I kind of hate this. But Auburn to me is just a little bit too fugazi. They kind of like to play like a little bit of street ball kind of energy. And I don't know. I don't think it travels very well. And I think it actually extends them in droughts here. I can't believe I'm falling back into this Ole Miss shit, but I have in the past, and it's worked out. Give me Ole Miss plus 2.5. They continue their stretch and win 4 straight after starting 0-2 in conference play.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll take Ole Miss at home. A little bit concerning just off of the Egg Bowl and the hard court win on Saturday against Mississippi State, at Mississippi State. But I just don't really trust this Auburn team on the road. They've lost their first 2 road games in conference play to Georgia and Missouri. They also got blown out by 29 points against Arizona on the road. So there are 3 true road games that they've played. They've lost, and then you look at another kind of semi-road game against Purdue, lost by 28. I know that all those teams that I mentioned are better than Mississippi, but I think Mississippi can get it done and possibly win this outright. So I'll back Ole Miss at home plus 2.5.
All right. Texas Tech laying 2.5 at Baylor. Over-unders 156.5. Another team I just don't want to fall into the trap yet again, just because this Baylor team has really struggled. But Texas Tech off of a great win against BYU at home. They really out physical, just more physical. Toppin was dominant. And I'm sure Toppin can really dominate this Baylor team. But Baylor, they haven't done great at home. They haven't looked great at home. They lost 10 to Iowa State. They lost by 22 to Houston. I think they're due for a spot to get up and at least cover a game at home here. I'll take Baylor plus the points, although Texas Tech is a much better team. And if I fall into this Baylor bullshit again at home, then I'm out on this home court for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this line's a little short, in my opinion. I agree with JB. I just think Texas Tech, from what I've seen from Texas Tech and what I've seen from Baylor, I'd put this at like 4.5, minus 4.5, something like that, minus 5, just because of how bad Baylor kind of has been to start Big 12 play. But you got 1-4 team at home against a 4-1 team coming in off of high and mighty, off of a win against BYU. Now you got a little sandwich spot. Got to look ahead against Houston on deck at home. That's going to be a big time game there in Lubbock. Big 12, we don't really have any look ahead spots, but Houston at home, they're thinking about it just a little bit. But I'll take Baylor plus the 2. I took them the last 2 games out at home against Iowa State and Houston. Ate shit on both of those games. So if I eat shit here again against Baylor at home, so be it. I'm going to keep riding Waco and Scott Drew to get it done. If not, this might be one of the last times that I kind of back this Baylor team until they show me something.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Baylor. We were doing their show, and everybody loves Texas Tech. I'm like, well, Texas Tech off the big win. They're traveling, and they have Houston in a revenge spot up deck. Baylor's not been good, but they need a signature win here. Everyone's going to take Texas Tech with the 2, Texas Tech money line or something. I think Baylor gets this done. They need this game like air. I'll take Baylor with you.
Yeah, love it even more now. Utah versus Kansas State. Kansas State is laying 8.5. Over-unders 169.5. Elliot, what you doing here? Let's go.
Muted. You muted, Elliot.
Boots on the ground will be here. I'll be here. It's going to be a late night for me. The 8 o'clock tip. So that'll be kind of a late night getting home. Should be fun, though. Hopefully we can get our first Big 12 win. I was wrong. I was thought that last Wednesday against UCF was the Anthracite game. Tomorrow night is the Anthracite game. So they're gonna wear their Anthracite jerseys. It's supposed to be Anthracite out for the whole crowd. So, maybe I could talk Trev into doing a jersey bet here, but I'll be on K-State minus the 8.5. Haven't gotten a win yet in conference play. They're due. They need one. I know it's 8.5. It's kind of crazy that it's that high, but I think they're going to be able to get it done. I think it's high for a reason. I think they win by double digits here. If they don't, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people calling for Tang's head. They already are, but even more so. So give me K-State, lay the 8.5. Not going to bet this. Don't really like betting on my team, especially when my team's 0-5 in conference play.
I just think you just play the over. Utah has given up points. They've given up 88, 89, 85, 97. Washington 74, 65. And then Kansas State, we know their defense isn't good. 84, 82, 87, 101, 83. I think both defenses struggle. I think the over's in play here. I don't want to lay 9 points with Kansas State, but I think they'll get theirs. I think Utah can get some. And just defense is going to be optional in here.
Yeah, this team is really rough to bet on. Sorry. Not sorry. I don't really know what to
don't need to apologize.
Personally do here. I know you said that last time. It worked out. I'll take the K-State team total over. No bet for me. I can't bet this team right now. I'm sorry. Michigan State's laying 10.5 against Oregon. Over under is 140.5 here. Oregon got up and covered the 20 against Michigan. Michigan State only laying 3.5 against Washington. Get the hell out of here. Oregon's looked horrible, but now they're getting a kind of a inflated number here. I think Michigan State definitely out rebounds them for sure. I think that they will certainly step it up. I know that the Ducks can kind of certainly get up at home here, and I hope that they would. I will take the Oregon team total over 64.5 here. I think that it's just a little bit too low. It's a little bit inflated off of the Michigan State win and how dominant that they've been. But I think that Oregon can kind of potentially hang down low with Michigan State and step it up. But they need to be able to do it on offense, get some extra rebounds. And Michigan State's itching to get back to the Midwest here. So, give me Oregon team total over 64.5. I'm not saying that they win the game, but I think that it's just a little bit too low to not take that team total over versus a Michigan State team total over, because I expect a little bit more points for sure.
Yeah, I think this is Michigan State in a rout. Oregon just had the max effort game versus Michigan. Now you get Sparty coming in here. They didn't have that West Coast lapse in that last game, won by 17. I don't see how Oregon rebounds or gets second chance opportunities here in this one. Michigan State's going to play physical, beat the shit out of them. I think Oregon just spent everything to try to beat Michigan, fell short, and Sparty comes in here and just and dominates them. So I got Sparty in this one. I think we'll say 83-66, so that you get that team total too.
Yeah, I'll take Oregon here plus the points. Kind of out of my principle of just taking the road or the home team, getting double digits as a dog. I like Oregon. I know that they were feisty against Michigan. If they could be feisty against Michigan, why can't they be feisty against Michigan State? Michigan State also plays super slow pace. So laying 10 points, I know they just beat Washington by 17. But beating them by 10 on the road, I think Oregon can hang around here. So give me the Ducks plus the 10.5. Life without Shellstad, they're starting to play a little bit better. I know they were getting smoked here recently. So yeah, I think they maybe found something with Michigan or against Michigan. So Give me the Ducks to keep it close and respectable. I'll take the Oregon plus 10.5.
Georgia is laying a point on the road against Missouri. Over-unders 165.5. Wrong team favored for me personally. I know that Georgia, off of good wins, they've been super up-tempo, and I know Missouri can match that pace, and I expect a lot of points. But even Missouri off the loss, now they're heading back home. Yes, Georgia may be the better team, but I think that Missouri's going to be able to step it up, go pound for pound with them offensively. Now they're going to have to be able to squander Georgia's defense, which Georgia just stepped it up massively defensively, beating Arkansas by 14. I don't think that they can reciprocate it on the road here. I will take Missouri at home.
Yeah, Missouri for me too. At home, they're a much better team here. Georgia hasn't looked incredible. I mean, they beat Arkansas by 14. I'll give them that one. But Ole Miss, the crazy overtime win to get to overtime, beat South Carolina on the road by 5. Florida blew them out. Needed overtime with some crazy shit at home against Auburn to get this done. And now you're going to hit the road against Missouri off a loss to LSU, who's back home. I think Missouri's the better team, especially at home. I'm going to trust Dennis Gates over Mike White and this Georgia team that just wants to run and gun. I think Missouri's going to be able to get theirs and get some stops.
Yeah, Missouri money line for me. I've kind of said it all year. I like to back this team at home and then kind of fade them on the road. That's what I've been doing. Kind of bit me in the ass on that Kentucky game, but other than that, got to win outright at home against Florida as a dog. I think they same thing with the Auburn as a dog as well. I think they get it done here as a dog at home against Georgia. So give me Missouri money line.
Air Force versus Colorado State. Colorado State is laying 20.5 against Air Force. Over-unders 131.5. Air Force's coach kicked off for beating the shit out of players, whatever the hell he was doing going on in the locker room. Certainly wasn't up to standard and protocol. Physical abuse is what they described it as. So I'm sorry, no disrespect, but wouldn't be mad beating the shit out of a team that I was coaching if you're going to play like Air Force does. I'll lay it with Colorado State. I think that Air Force can bounce it back off of their little notoriety as of late. So no bet for me.
Yeah, I kind of want to lay with Colorado State, but I'm not going to. They haven't looked that great. Air Force, looked better last game, 81-66 loss at home, but now you're hitting the road. Colorado State off of, I believe, back-to-back losses and the Boise State loss. They got Utah State on deck. I think this is a game they used to get right for Utah State, but I'm not going to lay 20.5 and a 131 total.
Air Force plus 20.5, no bet.
Arkansas laying a point against Vanderbilt. Both teams off of a loss here. Now you're welcoming Arkansas is welcoming Vanderbilt into their home court. Vanderbilt off of 2 losses in a row. Arkansas off 2 of their last 3. I think Vanderbilt runs into an absolute wall here against this Calipari Arkansas team. I think Arkansas steps it up offensively. They're able to run and gun just as much as Vanderbilt can. The only issue is that Vanderbilt can kind of force turnovers, but luckily Arkansas does a good job at carrying for the ball and running with it. I think Arkansas is going to get that home whistle. I will lock up the home team and Arkansas here, and Vanderbilt 3 losses in a row after starting undefeated.
Yep, couldn't agree more. Arkansas money line. Vanderbilt going to lose these 3 straight games here. I mean, Texas was a loss on the road. They just lost a heartbreaker to Florida. Now you got to go play an Arkansas team off of a loss on the road back home. Arkansas's offense is really good. We know Vandy doesn't play defense. Arkansas can play some defense. I think they lock them up in last 5 minutes or so of this game. They pull away and get this done. So give me Arkansas money line here.
Yeah, I'll take Arkansas on the money line as well. I'll back them here at home. I think that they can get it done. I will say, I think Vandy has the better defense personally. Just watching them play throughout this year than Arkansas. Arkansas just kind of lets people kind of score at will at times. So I would kind of maybe, fight back a little bit on that. But I just think Arkansas at home, I think they'll be able to get it done. Arkansas money line for me.
Let's go, Hogs. Oh, yeah. SMU laying a point against Wake. Over-unders 159.5. Talk about both teams that have just kind of fizzled out in bigger style games, especially SMU last season in ACC play. Ended up 13-7 and just couldn't win the big one. SMU lost to Wake last year at home. I know Wake got them, but I think Wake's going to be able to get them at home themselves yet again. I know Wake as well, another team that just kind of likes to lose in ACC play. Another bad start in ACC play under Steve Forbes after an okay non-conference. But I think Wake rallies off their home crowd. I like their slasher kind of style of play with their forwards. So I will take Wake here and Steve Forbes on the money line.
Yeah, I like SMU here, but I shouldn't say like him. I think this is a spot for SMU. Wake Forest, I just have not been impressed with SMU off the loss. But they should have lost 4 straight. That half-court heave saved them, but I just don't think Wake is that good. I think it's a spot for SMU, but I can honestly see both teams winning this game. I'm completely staying away from this game. Nothing in this for me, but SMU if I have to pick.
Yeah, I'll take Wake Forest on the money line here. I think that they're due for a home win against a solid team. They got blown out by Vandy at home, lost that game to Miami at home. I think that they can get it done. I know SMU has been pretty solid all year, but losers of their last 3 of their last 4, albeit that was against Duke, Virginia, and Clemson. Wake Forest really needs a nice home win here, so I think they're going to come out and be able to get it done. So give me Wake Forest on the money line.
Purdue laying 5.5, 6.5. Some places shop around against UCLA. Over-under is 147.5. Purdue played pretty tough against USC on the road, squeaked it out. They were laying a little bit more. They didn't cover, quite frankly, but they still got a good win. Now they're getting the UCLA team off of a loss, coming back home. So one of those kind of spots where the team out west is traveling back versus a team that's already been out there. So, yes, I can totally see that spot, but too many points for me. I don't think Purdue's been able to win at margin. They've been sneaking around these games. I think UCLA gets up and gets their big win, and Mick Cronin's whining ass ends up covering. I'll take UCLA plus 6.5 against Purdue here.
I'll lay with Purdue. I don't think UCLA is a good team. I think they got that sleepy spot out of the way. Against Washington, Sky Clark's still out. UCLA just doesn't play defense. Their offense is atrocious. Purdue is the much better team. I don't think UCLA is going to have much luck on the glass. They're going to be taking a lot of jump shots. If they're not falling, this is going to get ugly. So I'll take Purdue. I'm going to trust them with 2 7-footers to grab rebounds, get shots at the rim, and then Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer and CJ Cox and company on the perimeter. I will trust Purdue and lay the 5.5.
Yeah, I'll wait to bet this, and I'll be on UCLA plus the points at home. I'll take the home dog here. There's going to be times where Purdue is going to not be able to win by margin. They're going to have to get some tough wins on the road here in Big Ten play. They started out 7-0. They survived against USC. I think it's going to be another, hey, can you survive against UCLA as well before a premier home matchup against the Fighting Illini. So give me UCLA plus the 6.5. What I'm seeing now, wait to bet this, see if I can get a better number. But I'll be on the home team in the Bruins here.
Nevada laying 18.5 against San Jose State. Over-under is 141.5 here. San Jose State is god awful. Who wants to lay this many points with Nevada? I'll lay it, no bet.
I'll take San Jose, no bet. Nevada coming from Utah State Air Force, got the big win, and then they have New Mexico on the road on deck on Saturday. So popping at home playing this game. 18.5 is too much. I'm not laying 18.5 with what's his nuts Alfred at home with a look ahead and off of a travel from elevation. Give me San Jose, but probably won't bet this one.
Yeah, I'll lay it with Nevada and the big number. I don't want any part. I've backed San Jose State a few times here recently, and they failed me miserably each time. So give me Nevada minus 18.5. No bet for me. I'm right there with you, Trev. I don't really want to lay this number with a Steve Alford coach team, but San Jose State sucks. So I'll take Nevada. And they're injured, like you said.
Kansas laying 5.5 against Colorado here. Total weird line. I know that Kansas going into a spot where Colorado's lost 3 straight, but you know what? They've been pretty good at home, to say the least. They covered against Texas Tech. They won against Utah. They've been solid at home in the non-conference. But in the lieu of the news with Kansas, I kind of want to take Kansas here just on a little get-up spot for self. I think we continue riding the hot hand. As much as I really want to take Colorado here, I'm going to go with the hot hand and the get-up spot in the lieu of this news with self. I'll take Kansas.
What was the news with self? What happened?
He went to the hospital today. Didn't travel with the team. Possible more chest pains again. So they said he went to the hospital, got some IVs because he was feeling under the weather, and he's feeling better now. But you never know the full story until the full story comes out. So hoping that it's not any heart-related stuff again, as he's had 2 heart surgeries here in the last 2 years. So thoughts and prayers to him. But yeah, so they'll be without self tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they have to start retiring or something. I mean, that's a lot of shit going on with him. But I'll take Colorado at home. Fading Kansas. I don't think Kansas is that good. I know Peterson's been going bananas. Beat Iowa State, beat Baylor. Now you're going to hit the road before you have the Sunflower Showdown or whatever it's called against Kansas State here on the road. So I think it's a spot Colorado gets up. I think this is something similar to that Texas Tech game, 73-71. Play them tight. Just don't have enough juice to get over the edge, or finish line. But I do think Colorado stays within this number.
Yeah, I'll be on Colorado plus the 5.5 as well. I think that it's one of those plays where they've lost 3 in a row. They did cover this same number against Texas Tech at home. I think they should be able to do the same here against KU. KU has really been good at home so far in Big 12 play. They survived the scare against TCU, but then kind of rolled against Iowa State and Baylor. On the road, though, different story. Now you're without your coach. Can be a good spot, kind of a get-up spot, but also can be difficult for some things down the stretch when you don't have somebody like Self. But as Huff said, he's not Huff or Trav, I can't remember. He's not the greatest in-game coach, is what one of them has stated. So maybe it doesn't matter very much. But I think KU can survive here. I might take Colorado plus the 5.5, and I might pair KU money line with the Akron money line from earlier as kind of a nice little 2-team money line parlay for me, because I think KU can survive, and we see kind of a similar game to that Texas Tech Colorado game where it's a 4-point game or something like that.
All right, final play of the night, Utah State laying 16.5 against UNLV here. Over under is 156.5. UNLV is getting Utah State off of a loss here. Now they're heading back to Logan off of their good win their big game against Grand Canyon. I will take the Utah State team total over 86.5. I think that they run it up here, step it up offensively, and get UNLV, especially around the 3 points. So give me Utah State's team total over on the bounce back here.
Yeah, I'll lay it with Utah State off of a loss back home here. They do have Colorado State on deck, so just lots of Grand Canyon travel home. Then you got to go play Colorado State. I don't think it's much of a look ahead. I mean, UNLV lost to Colorado State by 8 on the road. Then they went to Wyoming and got pieced up by 32. The elevation hasn't treated them nice. Now you got a pissed off Utah State team at home in that environment. I will lay it. They're gonna win this game by 20 plus.
Yeah, I'll take that team total over with you, Huff. I like that better than playing the bigger number, just on the offhand chance that Nevada, they do like to play with some pace. UNLV, they do like to play with some pace. Shoot a decent amount of threes, not a lot of threes, but sometimes if they go in, maybe they can hang around this number. But I think defensively, they're really just going to give it up to Utah State. So I'd rather back the team total over with Utah State rather than the full game Utah State minus 16.5.
I'm with you there. And I believe Rhythm is too. Utah State team total over 85.5 available as well. Rhythm likes the over in this game and Utah State to score amount of points. So we will ride and bring back the Rhythm play of the day with Utah State's team total over here. Let's rock and roll. We all like Utah State to cover, to win. And, let's take their team total over with Rhythm there. But that is our show. Got a fire show. Was a great day on the board for us and a good little winner. Pump Fake Pod. Let's rock and roll for Parlay P. Let's get let's do a 3-leg parlay for Parlay P for his birthday here. Everyone give a play out.
Let's go.
Not all at once.
Let's go Arkansas money line.
Arkansas money line. All right. B.
Missouri money line.
Missouri money line. I will do UMass money line. So Missouri money line, UMass money line, Arkansas money line. We're riding the home teams on the short spread there. Thanks everyone for tuning in on the show. Appreciate you all in the chat. Hit that like button. Log into anyone's cell phone that you know and hit that subscribe button for us. Really helps us out. We're rocking and rolling. I'm sitting at 53, almost 53 units on the year. IU just won a natty. Life's feeling good. We'll be back on the Pump Fake Pod normal time tomorrow, rocking over the Wednesday slate. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Trevor, Elliott, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nope. Ready to hit the hay and get after tomorrow.
Let's go. Great day of hoops. See you guys tomorrow night. Appreciate everybody. Go Hoosiers. Let's go.